listen up. There's a war happening inside your head right now, and most people don't even realize it. They walk through life completely unaware that their own mind is their biggest enemy. Every single day, there's a battle between the part of you that wants more, that wants to grow, that wants to be great, and the part of you that wants to stay comfortable, weak, and afraid. The problem is, most people lose this battle before they even get out of bed. The second that alarm goes off, they start negotiating. 5 more minutes. I'll start tomorrow. It's not that serious. They don't even see what's happening. They think it's just how life is. But that's the battlefield. That's the fight. And if you're not conscious of it, if you're not disciplined enough to take control, you will lose. Your mind is always testing you. It wants to see how much it can get away with. It wants to see if you're weak enough to fold under pressure. If you're soft enough to take the easy way out. If you're undisciplined enough to make excuses. Your mind is looking for weakness. And the second it finds some, it's going to exploit it. That's why people stay the same. That's why they never break through to the next level. They don't even realize they're getting played by their own thought. You have to understand something. Your mind does not care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your goals. It only cares about keeping you safe, keeping you comfortable, keeping you from feeling pain. That's why most people never push themselves. That's why most people quit the second things get hard. They think their mind is protecting them, but really, you just hold them hostage. You ever notice how the moment you decide to do something difficult, your mind starts attacking you? You say you're going to wake up early and suddenly your bed feels like the most comfortable place on earth. You say you're going to push yourself in the gym and suddenly your body starts telling you it's tired. You say you're going to chase your dream and suddenly every doubt, every fear, every insecurity comes rushing in. That's not a coincidence. That's the battlefield. And if you're not trained to fight, you're going to get knocked out before you even start. This is why discipline is the key. Motivation won't save you. Inspiration won't last. There's only one thing that separates the strong from the weak. The ability to take action no matter what your mind is telling you. Because if you listen to your feelings, if you listen to your excuses, if you listen to that little voice that wants to take the easy way out, you've already lost. Your mind is an expert at deception. It knows exactly what to say to make you give up. It will tell you that you're too tired, that you don't have time, that you're not good enough, that it's not worth it. And if you don't recognize that voice for what it is, an enemy, you will believe it. You will live your entire life at 50%, never knowing what you're truly capable of because you never learned how to fight back. But here's the truth. Your mind can be trained. Just like a muscle, just like a skill, you can condition yourself to take control of your thoughts instead of letting them control you. And it starts with one simple decision. Stop negotiating with your weakness. When your mind tells you to quit, don't. When your body tells you it's too hard, push anyway. When your emotions try to make you hesitate, move forward. Because every time you do this, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you get stronger. You start winning those battles. You start taking back control. Most people will never do this. Most people will let their minds run them into the ground. They will live their lives full of regret, wondering why they never reached their potential, never realizing that they lost the battle before they even tried. But you don't have to be like them. You can train yourself to be stronger. You can develop a mind that refuses to quit, refuses to break, refuses to be anything less than unstoppable. The fight is happening every single day. The only question is, are you going to win? Your mind is the most powerful thing you have, but most people never learn how to use it. They walk through life completely unaware that their thoughts are shaping their reality, that every single decision they make starts in their head, and because they don't understand this, they let their mind work against them instead of for them. They don't train it, they don't challenge it, they don't sharpen it, they let it run wild, and before they know it, it becomes their biggest enemy. Your mind can either build you up or tear you down. It can push you forward or hold you back. It can turn you into a warrior or it can make you a slave. But it all depends on whether you take control of it or let it control you. Most people, they let it control them. They let their fears, their doubts, their insecurities dictate how they live. They don't realize that every negative thought, every excuse, every hesitation is a sign that their mind is working against them. And when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing your mind tells you? Does it tell you to get up, attack the day, push yourself to be better? Or does it try to pull you back under the covers, telling you you're too tired, that you'll start tomorrow, that there's no rush? That voice is always there, testing you, seeing if you're strong enough to override it. If you don't train yourself to fight back, you'll fall for the trap every single time. Your mind wants to take the easy route. It wants to keep you comfortable. It doesn't want to struggle. It doesn't want to suffer. It doesn't want to feel pain. And that's why so many people stay the same. That's why they never grow, never improve, never break out of the cycle they're stuck in. They don't realize that the very thing they're running from, the pain, the struggle, the discomfort, is the only thing that will make them stronger. When your mind is untrained, it will fight against anything that challenges it. You'll say you want to get in shape, and suddenly your mind will flood you with reasons why you can't. You'll say you want to build something great, and suddenly your mind will remind you of all the times you failed. You'll say you want to change, and your mind will convince you that it's not possible. If you listen to that voice, if you let it dictate your actions, you will stay exactly where you are. But when you train your mind, when you take control of your thoughts, instead of letting them control you, everything changes. You start recognizing those negative thoughts for what they are, lies. You start realizing that the only thing standing between you and your potential is the battle inside your head. And when you learn how to win that battle, nothing can stop you. A trained mind doesn't hesitate. It doesn't second guess itself. It doesn't waste time making excuses. It sees fear and attacks anyway. It sees pain and keeps pushing. It sees doubt and shuts it down. A trained mind is dangerous because it cannot be broken. It doesn't rely on motivation. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't need permission. It just moves forward no matter what. But the problem is, training your mind isn't easy. It's not something you can do once and expect to be set for life. It's a daily battle, a constant war between the part of you that wants to grow and the part of you that wants to stay comfortable. And if you're not committed to fighting that war every single day, your mind will slowly turn against you. It will find ways to weaken you, to convince you to settle, to make you believe that you're not capable of more. People don't understand that every thought they entertain is either strengthening them or weakening them. Every time you tell yourself you can't do something, you're reinforcing weakness. Every time you let an excuse win, you're making it harder to fight back next time. But on the other hand, every time you push through doubt, every time you take action despite fear, every time you refuse to quit, you're making yourself stronger. You're turning your mind into a weapon. It all comes down to choice. Every single day, you decide whether your mind is going to work for you or against you. You decide whether it's going to push you or hold you back. You decide whether it's going to be your greatest strength or your biggest weakness. And that decision, it determines everything. Most people wake up every day and let their emotions dictate how they live. They let their feelings decide whether they take action or sit back and do nothing. If they feel motivated, they push themselves. If they feel tired, they take it easy. If they feel discouraged, they quit. They don't realize that by allowing their emotions to control them, they are giving up their power. They're becoming slaves to their moods, their fears, and their doubts. And that's why they never reach their full potential. Emotions are temporary. They come and go like the weather. One moment you feel strong, ready to take on the world. The next you feel exhausted, beaten down, and unmotivated. If you let those shifting emotions determine your actions, you will live your life on a roller coaster, never making real progress. One good day, one bad day. One step forward, two steps back. That's the cycle that keeps most people stuck. People don't understand that discipline is stronger than emotion. Discipline is what separates the successful from the ones who stay average. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't wait for motivation. Discipline doesn't let fear, doubt, or weakness make the decisions. When you have discipline, you move forward no matter what. You push yourself when you don't feel like it. You show up even when it's uncomfortable. You do the work even when your emotions are screaming at you to stop. The problem is most people never develop this level of control. They let small emotions dictate their entire future. If they don't feel like working out, they skip the gym. If they don't feel like working on their goals, they put it off until tomorrow. If they feel fear, they run. If they feel uncomfortable, they stop. And what happens? Weeks go by, months go by, years go by, and they're in the exact same place. Not because they aren't capable, not because they don't have the potential, but because they let their emotions run their lives. Your emotions are not reliable. They will lie to you. They will make you believe you're too tired when you have more left in the tank. They will convince you that you're not good enough when you haven't even tried. They will tell you that you need a break when you haven't even put in the work. If you listen to them, if you let them decide how you live, you will never break free from mediocrity. The ones who achieve greatness are the ones who override their emotions. They feel the same doubt, the same fear, the same discomfort, but they don't let it stop them. They wake up tired, but get moving anyway. They feel fear, but take action anyway. They feel like quitting, but keep pushing anyway. They understand that success isn't about how you feel. It's about what you do. Most people wait for motivation to show up before they take action. They think they need to be in the right mood, the right mindset, the right energy. But that's why they fail. Because motivation is fleeting, it's unreliable. It won't always be there when you need it. The ones who win in life are the ones who take action even when they don't feel like it. They push forward despite their emotions. They don't allow feelings to determine their level of effort. The truth is, the only way to gain control over your emotions is to stop giving in to them. The more you push through discomfort, the stronger you get. The more you take action despite fear, the less power fear has over you. The more you do the hard things when you don't feel like it, the more disciplined you become. Over time, your emotions stop controlling you. Instead, you control them. You decide what gets done. You decide how far you go. You decide your future. Most people will never experience this kind of control. They will continue letting their emotions dictate their actions. They will continue living on autopilot, making decisions based on how they feel in the moment instead of what they truly want in life. And because of that, they will continue staying exactly where they are, wondering why nothing ever changes. People spend hours in the gym pushing their bodies, building muscle, and increasing endurance. They count reps, track their progress, and stay consistent because they know physical strength doesn't come overnight. But what they fail to realize is that the real battle isn't in the gym, on the field, or anywhere outside of them. The real battle is in the mind. And if the mind isn't strong, the body doesn't matter. A weak mind will always find a way to quit, no matter how strong the body is. You can have the best genetics, the most advanced training program, and all the physical ability in the world, but if your mind isn't conditioned to endure suffering, push past pain, and override self-doubt, none of it will matter. The moment things get hard, the moment you face adversity, your body will follow whatever your mind tells it to do. If your mind is weak, you'll break. Training is more important than physical training, because no matter how much you build your body, life will always find a way to test your mind. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. Days when your motivation is gone. Days when your body is screaming at you to stop. And on those days, it won't be your muscles or your endurance that get you through. It will be your mind. It will be the discipline you built, the mental toughness you forged, the ability to silence the voice that tells you to quit. Most people don't train their minds. They rely on motivation. They move when they feel good. They push themselves when it's convenient. But the second they face resistance, they fold. They don't have the mental strength to override the excuses, the pain, the temporary discomfort. And because they never built that strength, they never reach their full potential. They stay stuck, wondering why they can't break through, never realizing that it's not their body that's holding them back, it's their mind. Training the mind is about doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. It's about showing up on the days when every part of you wants to stay in bed. It's about pushing forward when your emotions are telling you to quit. It's about developing the ability to suffer without breaking, to endure without hesitation, to keep moving even when there's no sign of success in sight. That's what separates the ones who achieve greatness from the ones who stay average. Physical training makes you stronger, but mental training makes you unstoppable. A strong body can lift heavy weight, but a strong mind can carry the burden of failure, rejection, and hardship without giving up. A strong body can run a marathon, but a strong mind can keep going when every muscle is telling you to stop. A strong body can fight. That's why the mind must always be trained first. Most people think they need to wait until they feel strong before they take action. They think they need the right mindset, the right energy, the right circumstances. But that's the mistake. Strength doesn't come first, action does. Mental toughness isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. You build it by doing the work, by pushing through discomfort, by showing up even when you don't want to. Over time, that builds the kind of strength that can't be broken. People spend years perfecting their bodies, but they never take the time to master their minds. They lift weights, but they don't lift themselves out of their own excuses. They train their endurance, but they don't train their ability to push past failure. They work on their physical power, but they never develop the mental power to keep going when things get hard. And that's why so many people quit before they ever see what they're truly capable of. Pain is the greatest teacher, but most people spend their entire lives running from it. They avoid discomfort. They shy away from struggle. They do everything in their power to stay in a bubble of ease and convenience. And then they wonder why they're weak. They wonder why they break under pressure, why they quit when things get tough, why they never reach the level of strength they admire in others. It's because they never allowed themselves to go through the suffering required to build real mental toughness. Mental strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you earn. It's not about talent, intelligence, or luck. It's about your ability to endure pain without breaking, to keep moving forward when every part of you wants to stop, to get knocked down and stand back up again no matter how many times it happens. That kind of strength is built in the moments when quitting feels like the only option, but you push forward anyway. It's built through every struggle you survive, every hardship you overcome, and every moment of doubt that you refuse to give into. Discipline is the foundation of mental toughness, because pain alone isn't enough. Anyone can experience pain. What separates the strong from the weak is what they do with it. Weak people let pain break them. They use it as an excuse to stop. Strong people use pain as fuel. They embrace it, they learn from it, they let it shape them into something greater. That's what discipline is. It's doing what needs to be done no matter how difficult, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how much pain is involved. The truth is, pain is unavoidable. No matter what you do, life will hit you, it will test you, it will push you to your limits. You can either let it destroy you, or you can let it harden you. Every time you choose to push through pain instead of running from it, you are building something inside yourself that cannot be broken. You are training your mind to handle anything that comes your way. You are proving to yourself that no matter how hard it gets, you will not quit. People who lack mental toughness look for an easy way out the moment things get uncomfortable. They want results without struggle, rewards without effort, strength without suffering. But that's not how it works. The mind is like a muscle. It only grows when it's forced to. Just like your body needs resistance to get stronger, your mind needs hardship. It needs discipline. It needs suffering. because without those things, it stays weak. Most people don't understand that discipline is a form of freedom. They think discipline is restrictive, that it takes away their comfort, their choices, their ability to do what they want. But in reality, discipline is what gives you control. It's what allows you to face pain and keep moving. It's what makes you unstoppable. Without discipline, you are a prisoner to your own weakness. You are at the mercy of your emotions, your fears, your doubts. But with discipline, you are in control. You decide how far you go, how hard you push, how much you can take. Every day is an opportunity to build mental strength, but most people waste it. They look for shortcuts. They take the easy route. They avoid anything that makes them uncomfortable. And then they wonder why they never change. They don't realize that every moment of pain they avoid is a moment of growth they are missing. Every hard choice they refuse to make is a chance to get stronger that they are throwing away. The only way to build mental toughness is to seek out the struggle instead of avoiding it, to embrace the pain instead of fearing it, to wake up every day and do the things you don't want to do because you know they will make you better. That is how real strength is built. People go through life waiting for change. They wait for the right opportunity, the right moment, the right circumstances. They tell themselves that once things get better, once they have more money, once they have more time, once life gives them a break, then they'll finally do what needs to be done. But the truth is, nothing in your life will change until your mind does. You can switch jobs, move to a new city, surround yourself with different people, but if your mindset stays the same, you'll always end up right back where you started. Everything starts in the mind. The way you think controls the way you act. The way you act determines the results you get. And the results you get create the life you live. If you don't like where you are, if you don't like what you've become, if you don't like the situation you're in, it's not because of bad luck. It's not because of your environment. It's not because of anyone else. It's because of the way you think. Until you fix that, nothing else will change. People want success, but they still think like failures. They want discipline, but they still think like quitters. They want confidence, but they still think like victims. You can't expect your life to transform if your mind is still programmed to settle for less. You can't expect to win if you still carry the same weak mindset that's been holding you back for years. If you want real change, you have to rewire the way you think. You have to break free from the habits, the excuses, the doubts that have been keeping you stuck. Your mind is either working for you or against you. Most people don't even realize that their own thoughts are the reason they can't move forward. They wake up every day with the same negative mindset, telling themselves the same weak stories. I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. I don't have what it takes. And then they wonder why nothing changes. The mind believes whatever you feed. If you keep telling yourself you're not capable, you will live a life that reflects that belief. Growth starts the moment you take control of your mind, the moment you stop letting fear make your decisions, the moment you stop allowing doubt to hold you back, the moment you stop making excuses for why you can't and start finding reasons why you must. That's when everything shifts. That's when you start seeing progress. That's when your life finally begins to change. But change isn't easy. Your mind will fight you. It will resist. It will try to pull you back into old habits, old patterns, old ways of thinking. That's why most people never make it. They want to change, but they're not willing to go to war with the version of themselves that's been keeping them stuck. They don't realize that transformation requires destruction. You have to destroy the weak mindset before you can build a strong one. You have to destroy the doubts before you can create confidence. You have to destroy the excuses before you can develop discipline. Most people don't understand how much power they have over their own lives. They think life is happening to them, but in reality, they are creating it with their own thoughts and actions every single day. Every time you accept a limitation, you reinforce it. Every time you give in to fear, you strengthen it. Every time you allow yourself to settle, you make it harder to break free. But the moment you decide to take control, the moment you stop waiting for change and start creating it, the moment you shift your mindset from weakness to strength, everything in your life will start to shift with it. Everybody wants success, but nobody wants to struggle. Everybody wants to be great, but nobody wants to go through the pain required to get there. They search for shortcuts, looking for an easy way to the top. They want to get stronger without suffering, get disciplined without sacrifice, and achieve their goals without hardship. But that's not how it works. The ones who make it in life aren't the ones who look for the easy way. They're the ones who embrace the hard way. They lean into the struggle. They understand that growth comes from suffering, not from comfort. The truth is, easy will never make you better. Easy will never make you stronger. Easy will never push you beyond your limits. Every time you choose easy, you choose to stay the same. You choose weakness over strength. You choose mediocrity over greatness. And the worst part is, you don't even realize you're doing it. You tell yourself you're just being smart, that you're avoiding unnecessary pain, that there's no point in making life harder than it needs to be. But deep down, you know the truth. You're avoiding discomfort because you're afraid of what it will take to get to the next level. Hardship is the price of growth. You don't get stronger by avoiding pain. You get stronger by walking straight into it. You get stronger by doing the things you don't want to do, by facing the things you fear, by taking on challenges that push you to your limits. Every time you endure, every time you keep going when you want to quit, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are building something inside yourself that cannot be broken. Most people don't have what it takes because they never let themselves struggle. The second things get hard, they stop. They tell themselves it's too much, that they're not ready, that they'll try again later. But later never comes. Because every time you quit when things get tough, you train yourself to break under pressure. You reinforce weakness. You make quitting a habit. And once quitting becomes a habit, it's almost impossible to escape. The ones who win in life are the ones who refuse to back down from hardship. They don't just accept suffering, they seek it out. They push themselves to the limit every single day, knowing that the more they struggle now, the stronger they will become. They understand that success isn't given, it's earned through sacrifice, through pain, through discipline. That's why they are unstoppable. Not because they don't feel fear, not because they don't feel pain, but because they have trained themselves to keep moving no matter what. You want to be great? Stop looking for the easy road. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop hoping for success without struggle. It doesn't exist. If you want to be stronger, go through the pain. If you want to be more disciplined, make sacrifices. If you want to be tougher, face the challenges that scare you. That's the only way. No hack, no shortcut, no magic formula will ever replace the power of suffering. The ones who achieve their goals aren't the most talented, the most gifted, or the most naturally strong. They are the ones who are willing to endure more pain than everyone else. The ones who are willing to suffer longer, to push harder, to embrace the discomfort that others run from. That is what separates the great from the average. That is what determines who rises and who stays stuck. It's not about skill, it's about mindset. It's about the decision to embrace hardship instead of running from it. Most people will never understand this. They will spend their lives looking for the easiest path, searching for ways to avoid the struggle, doing everything in their power to stay comfortable. And because of that, they will never reach their full potential. They will never know what they could have been, because the life they want is on the other side of pain, and they are too afraid to go through it. A trained mind is the most powerful weapon you can possess. It doesn't matter how strong your body is, how much talent you have, or how many opportunities come your way. If your mind isn't prepared for the fight, you will never reach your true potential. Life is hard. It will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path, push you to your limits, and break you down when you least expect it. But if your mind is trained, if you've built the mental toughness to face those challenges head on, nothing will be able to stop you. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is not in their circumstances, it's in how they react to them. A trained mind doesn't crumble when things get tough. It doesn't give in when adversity strikes. It doesn't throw in the towel when failure looms on the horizon. It stays focused, it stays disciplined, and it stays determined. A trained mind understands that pain is temporary and weakness is a choice. A trained mind knows that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to get stronger, and to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Life is constantly trying to break you down. The world will tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not strong enough, that you'll never make it. It will test you with every failure, every rejection, and every setback. But the power of a trained mind is that it doesn't listen to the negativity. It doesn't allow external forces to define what it can and can't do. Instead, it focuses on what it can control, the thoughts, the actions, and the decisions that will lead to success. When you train your mind, you train it to see beyond the momentary pain, to see past the fear, to ignore the doubts. You teach your mind that discomfort is not an enemy, but a companion that will help you become who you are meant to be. A trained mind doesn't make excuses. It doesn't settle for average. It doesn't give up after the first failure. It pushes through when everyone else quits. When the body is screaming for rest, the mind keeps pushing forward. When fear rears its ugly head, the mind chooses courage. When doubts creep in, the mind chooses confidence. Most people never build a strong mind because they avoid hardship. They take the path of least resistance. They look for ways to make their lives easier, more comfortable. But comfort breeds weakness. Strength is born in struggle. The more you face hardship, the stronger your mind becomes. The more you push through pain, the more resilient you become. The more you face your fears and doubts, the less power they have over you. Every time you overcome a challenge, your mind becomes stronger. It learns that it can handle anything life throws its way. A trained mind can't be broken because it has seen the worst and survived. It has been through the storm and come out stronger. It has failed, but it didn't stay down. It has been beaten, but it didn't stay broken. It has been knocked out, but it got back up and kept fighting. A trained mind understands that the fight is never over. It understands that setbacks aren't the end, they're just a part of the journey. If you want to build a mind that can't be broken, you have to face your fears. You have to embrace the discomfort. You have to push yourself beyond your limits, even when it feels like you can't go any further. You have to make the hard choices, the sacrifices, and the commitments that others aren't willing to make. The more you train your mind, the stronger it becomes. The more you push through the pain, the more unbreakable it becomes. A mind that is trained for success doesn't quit when things get hard. It gets stronger. It doesn't run from challenges. It welcomes them. It doesn't fear failure. It uses it as fuel to keep moving forward. When your mind is trained, nothing in this world can break you. You will always rise, always push forward, always find a way to succeed, because a trained mind is the foundation of everything. And once it's strong, nothing can stand in your way. There will come a time when life hits you harder than you ever imagined. It will challenge you, break you, and push you to places you never thought you'd have to go. When that moment comes, and trust me, it will, you have two choices. You can quit, or you can stay hard. Staying hard means refusing to give in to weakness, refusing to surrender to your fears, your doubts, and the discomfort that wants to pull you down. It's the decision to keep fighting when everyone else gives up. It's about enduring, pushing through the pain, and never, ever backing down. Life is going to test you in ways you can't even predict. It will hit you from every angle, emotionally, physically, mentally. It will strip you of your comfort, your security, and sometimes even your hope. The easy path is to let go, to throw in the towel, to say, I can't do it anymore. But let me tell you this. If you want to be something more than average, if you want to stand tall when everything around you is falling apart, then you have to stay hard. You have to dig deep. Find that part of yourself that refuses to quit and make the choice to keep going no matter what. Staying hard isn't about never feeling pain or hardship. It's about embracing those moments, owning them, and using them to fuel you. When everything hurts, when your mind is screaming at you to stop, when your body can't go any further, those are the moments that define you. Anyone can move when things are easy, Anyone can keep going when everything is working in their favor. But the true test of strength, of character, is in how you handle adversity. It's about standing your ground in the face of everything trying to knock you down. The world isn't kind to the weak. It doesn't care about your excuses or your reasons for quitting. If you give up, you'll be forgotten. If you keep going, no matter the cost, you'll make an impact that can't be erased. The world rewards those who push beyond their limits, those who refuse to stay down when everything seems impossible. Those are the people who change the game. And the only way to be one of those people is to stay hard. You will face rejection, failure, and disappointment. You will have days when you feel like you can't go any further, when the weight of the world seems unbearable. But let me tell you something. Those days are not the end. They are just a part of your story. If you stay hard, you will rise above those challenges. You will use them as stepping stones to become stronger, tougher, and more resilient. You will look back at the struggles and realize that they were the very things that made you who you are. Most people live their lives trying to avoid pain, trying to stay comfortable, trying to take the easy road. But here's the truth. Comfort doesn't create greatness. Comfort doesn't forge strength. Comfort doesn't make you better. It's the hardship, the struggle, the times when you want to quit but you keep going anyway. That's what builds you. That's what makes you unbreakable. And that's what it means to stay hard. When you make the decision to stay hard, you become a warrior. You become someone who refuses to be defeated. You develop a mindset that doesn't just bounce back from failure, it grows from it. You become someone who isn't afraid to put in the work even when no one is watching. You become someone who isn't afraid to suffer because you know that suffering is just another word for progress. So when life hits you with everything it has, don't shrink back, don't back down, stay hard. Make the choice every single day to keep fighting, to keep pushing, to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is whether or not you stayed hard. And if you can say that you did, then you will have built a life that no one can tear down.